Hey, what's up? Welcome back. It's actually May 27th. You could say a little bit of time has passed since our last video. I hope you guys are doing well. Welcome back to Star Wars Journey. Yeah, some time has passed in between the last video. And there's a reason for that. I've been building this. Been slowly acquiring the parts over the last few months, and I finally built it towards mid to late April. And I haven't done a video yet just because I was waiting on other equipment to come in, like this headset and this new webcam I'm working on. So I'm very excited to have this machine. And what I wanted to do for this video is actually just recap and review all of our stories so far. We've kind of established who our character is, how they are brought to the planet of Tython from Rolyon, who the character's father is, what his involvement is. So what I want to do is just kind of recap everything, make this a really quick video, just so that we're back on the same page. I know it's been quite some time since my last video. I do apologize for that. I hope you guys are doing well and staying safe and healthy in this current day and age. But I'm really excited to get back to this series, continue developing our story. I have downloaded Unreal Engine 4 onto this machine and have been learning how to use it. So really excited. I'll probably start doing a series on showing what I've learned, and then in that learning series, I'll begin applying that same information into the actual development series. So with that said, let's go ahead and just start reviewing our information, reviewing our story. Okay, so now I have all of our information pulled up. We have our locations, documents loaded up, and we have our intro doc loaded up. I don't want to go into like details about the map. I think the map is okay for now. We can kind of mold the map to how we want and how it fits within the story, so I'm not too worried about that right now. What we need to do is focus on the story aspect so that we know moving forward how the map it actually needs to be. So just looking back, so we are, our story does begin after, about 300 years after Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2 and before Star Wars The Old Republic. Actually, just a few years before The Old Republic video game begins. So the year is 3651. Let's see. I do have my video script in here. So Journey is set in 3651 BBY, Battle Before Yavin, roughly 300 years after the events surrounding Darth Revan in KOTOR 1 and 2, and a few years before the Old Republic. The Sith have overtaken the Jedi Temple on Coruscant, leaving the Jedi to find a new home for the Order and its High Council. Through the Force, a hyperlane is rediscovered to the lost planet of Tython, the original homeworld of the Jedi. It is here where the environment, ecosystem, and weather may react to any and all imbalances in the Force. Explore Jedi temples and structures, volcanoes, deserts, lost tribes, fortresses, and we will uncover the ancient mysteries of Tython. So that's the gist of the story. That's all we have on this actual document. I believe on this document we have a lot more information. So we started developing just general ideas of our story. So for the main party, we have the main character. We have Satil Shan. We have Sio Bakarn, Nima Movoon, HK-47, which will be really exciting to include him. Nos Dural, Alana Kerr, Mitra Surik, who is the exile in KOTOR 2. And then we also have the apprentice to Sith Emperor Vitiate. And previously what we've done is we've tried to determine a plot for the apprentice. Why is he on Tython? What is his relationship to Sith Emperor Vitiate? Why? I think I spelled Emperor wrong. Emperor. Yes, you are correct. We've tried to develop why the Sith Emperor Vitiate is excited or interested in the planet of Tython. And so far, the apprentice to Sith Emperor Vitiate right now uses an amulet to hide their strong presence in the Force. Otherwise, if they didn't hide their strong presence in the Force, the planet of Tython would react to that imbalance in Force. So he is also mind controlled by Vitiate. So there might be even instances where we're speaking to the apprentice, but it's actually Vitiate speaking through it. So the apprentice is collecting multiple Sith artifacts in search for immortality and spreads them across the planet at different locations so that the artifacts don't create enormous force storms in one single location, because they are in fact affecting the environment around them. So they would in fact, if in one central location, create maybe a huge force storm. The artifacts are then brought to the forge at Vertape to forge together the strengths of each artifact. The Father of Mortis transports the character to Mortis and gives the Dagger of Mortis to the character so they may destroy the super artifact and break the immortality of the apprentice. Upon completing the main quest, the Mortis Dagger is taken back to Mortis. So basically what's happening here is our storyline says that we are... let's just call it the boss fight. Towards the end of the story, the apprentice has forged all of these artifacts into one super artifact that pulls in all of the, you could say, strength stats or item stats per se, just for the sake of trying to detail what it is. It pulls in all of these benefits or auras or enhancements. You guys are understanding what I'm saying. The apprentice pulls together all these artifacts, creates a super artifact that enhances all these different stats and has all these different effects. And so combining all these together actually creates an immortality artifact. It makes you so strong and basically makes you immortal. The Father of Mortis, which is, I've explained in a previous video, is a part of the Star Wars Clone Wars storyline where Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka are transported to the Mortis realm. And there's a Dagger of Mortis that breaks immortality of the immortal beings. So the Father of Mortis actually grants the Mortis Dagger to the character to break the immortality of the apprentice. Because eventually what would happen is Vitiate was going to implant his spirit into the apprentice himself. Because Vitiate's body is getting pretty old. He has to go from body to body in order to stay alive. But this would permanently allow him to live immortal in one body. So the Father Mortis gives the dagger to the character. The character then stabs or slices or whatever the apprentice, breaking that super artifact. And then that's when the actual boss fight would most likely commence, and you try to fight him. But I think what it could do is it breaks the immortality aspect, but he would still have all these enhanced stats. So he'd be really strong, and you would have to it would be a really big boss fight. But so that's where we're at. So that's the ending. More towards the beginning, though, our character is raised on Rolion. Turns out that your character is force sensitive. What we developed was that the character is your character development starts out on Rolion. You are actually learning how to use the different controls, possibly through some sort of battle arena, like what you see on Terrace with the the duels that they would have. So you could do it in that manner, and then after that, you get into like a bar fight outside of the cantina, and possibly like uncover like this release of force powers that you didn't know you had. Uh, at that point, you then go home. You go to sleep. You have a vision of Mitra Surik. She visits you in your sleep and tells you to go to Tython. And so that's when your character, in his previous interactions with Tython, his father actually went to Tython and got lost on Tython. His or her. Maybe the character's a girl. But the character's father worked back and forth on Tython doing jobs, and ended up getting trapped on Tython, which the character assumes that their father is dead at this current time. And so, but they've had this vision to go to Tython. So they end up catching a ship to Tython and are dropped off on Masara next to... Do we have... we don't have any information on Masara on these documents. We do have a little bit of information here. If we go to the main character, let me see, develop. Character builder. Nature comes to the player in the dream, says the force is drawing you to Tython to find your father and find yourself. We're just going to go through here. Saving your father and becoming a force user. The player must become a force user by going on the great journey, traveling to all Jedi temples. So let me pull up the Photoshop. Let me pull up Photoshop and we'll actually... Desktop Journeyer. Let's do... is it design assets, I believe? Okay, so this is the original document. That's the map. If we go to this document, show you continents. All right, let's see here. So the ship was supposed to drop us off outside of the village of Kanai. And from here we meet a shopkeeper who tells us to go to search toward Padawan Kesh, which we enter Padawan Kesh, and I'm just recalling from memory, Padawan Kesh, we just kind of walk through, and then we come back out. We end up having this discussion with Mitra Surik. We end up walking out, and we see, what's his name? CEO Picard. He's outside of Padawan Kesh watching us. And so he takes us back all the way back to the Remorse. So we end up following him all the way to the Remorse. And then we do... So we go back to the Remorse. We meet Sutil Sean. We talk to her about all of our dealings so far, like all of our journeys so far. And then she takes us, we end up traveling with her back to Padawan Kesh. And it takes a master and apprentice to go through the actual trials at Padawan Kesh. And so that's when, once we pass the trials, that's when she decides, yes, I'll train you. And so from there, we can actually start the journey of becoming a journeyer. And then once we finish the journey, we become an actual ranger, is what they call the Jedi Ranger. Once you complete all of your studying at each Jedi temple. So there's different interactions we could have on here. In past videos, we created like side quests you can do with Kanai Village or the Tazi Bandits, Chadvita Estate. And then the Jedi Monument, possibly perhaps following the footsteps of a specific Jedi master. So you could do this actual quest of learning what this master learned and what he taught, and so you get like specific perks, kind of like on Skyrim, to where you could go to like different monuments and pick up either like skill points or perks or whatever it might be. But there's a lot we could do there. So this is just a quick recap. I think next time we're going to start working on... I'm trying to think of like what the next point of interaction would be. Probably just like developing different parts of the map, or developing more about how we begin traversing the map. Because right now, see, I think we did have a storyline that we needed parts to fix the Remorse in order to get it to take off again. And so it would be the Remorse. Maybe there's a map at Padawan Kesh we would use to get back, like start traveling to the different continents. But there's still a lot of story development we need to do. But I'm really excited to get back to this series. So with that said, we're going to cut the episode off here. And next time we will begin working on we'll probably begin working on like the continent of Thur. Or I think Thur will be the next continent we work on. So anyway, I hope you guys are enjoying this series so far. I apologize for the large delay or the large distance in between when these videos were made, but excited to get back to the series. So with that said, we will see you guys next time.